Good morning, everyone. Kate here at Second Verse Paper Studio. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do the flip through of my Junk Journal January journal. The other day I posted a video with the flip through telling the story, the narrative that flows through these pages. But today we're going to do just a regular technical flip through. We can talk about the prompts and some of the techniques I used and some of the supplies, and I am very excited. This is quite possibly the biggest journal I've made. Not necessarily dimension-wise, I think it's 5 by 7 inches at the cover, but it is very packed. I've got it squished down with my cord, and I believe now it's down to 3.5 inches thick. It likes to sit a lot thicker than that. That's about as squished as it gets. I did an infinity style journal again because I really enjoy that, and it helps keep it sitting square. You know, if I had all the pages stitched into one side, I'd have a really big gator mouth on it. Or I'd have one massive spine taking all of that weight. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spines taking the weight, taking the stress. I do like that style a lot. Plus there's something special when you get to the end and you get to just keep going. It's not the end. That's really fun to me. As you can see, I did Franken paper pages and spine. Just gathered up a handful of different textures and patterns that kind of fit the same color palette and started from there. And I've got some fun stuff on the cover here. Let's get rid of my cord. Yeah, as you can see, it likes to sit with quite a bit more space. I have a layered cover, which is a little unusual for me. I don't usually do anything this dimensional on the front, but I've got a double frame and some funky mushrooms, and then this eyelash yarn, which if anybody knows where to get more of this, it was like a mottled green eyelash yarn. I had gotten it at Joann, and the one here discontinued it. So if anybody knows where to find that, let me know. I've got a piece of a placemat that I fussy cut. It's like canvas. And then this little butterfly, which was a white one with the gold on it. And I actually, it's 2 layers. It's cardstock and then vellum. And I actually colored on the back of the vellum so it would be red to match my theme, and then I glued them down because the wings started tearing. But love my cover. First prompt I did, and I almost always do them out of order. First prompt I did was memory. And I needed something to start me off in the real world, a call to adventure kind of a thing. You know, fantasy stories always start out with something changing irrevocably, and so I tried an in memoriam kind of a theme. And I have this picture of these fabulous ladies, so I thought maybe we lost one of them. And you're visiting their house and going through their stuff. So I just had some, I don't know, turn back the clock memory kind of stuff going on here. And then I took several pages to make an attic, a maze-like packed attic scene to look through. I wanted it to feel a little overwhelming, a little busy. The first prompt I did was peeking out, so I've got the little kitten on the card. And it's up to you whether you imagine that's a real cat sitting up in the attic or just a picture of one on on the altered playing card. And here, this was fun. I wanted to make a mirror, and as you can see, it didn't quite turn out. That is a metal Tim Holtz frame with tinfoil glued to the back, and then I tried using my silicone glue in there, and to start with it was perfectly mirror smooth. It was beautiful. But the longer it sat, I don't know if it was reacting to the tinfoil or what, but it started looking like like a puddle of Sprite with the little bubbles, and then they got bigger and bigger. So I've decided it's a tarnished mirror, like an aged one, which is why it's up in the attic instead of hanging on the wall in this house. Here I've got some tactile elements, got some actual thread on the spool. This is an old kiln tag that an art teacher friend of mine found. Once again, I love being that friend where people are like, I have this weird thing, do you want it? And I'm like, yes, yes, I do. So it looks a little like a luggage tag. I don't know, it fit the pocket. Then up here, we have the first of our butterflies. Just like on the cover, I've got a red butterfly, and the idea is through the story, they kind of give you hints on what to do. They are your guides. So, you're supposed to want to know what the heck the butterfly is doing up there, and you find this pocket with a jar. This is actually a huge pocket in there. That was a little tricky to make, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I got a little poem, and a leaf, and some more butterflies in there. Tuck it right back in. Another kind of dimensional page with those chipboard frames. This time making a window. This was, well, these pages were eclectic, interactive, and then we had garden. Then we have resolution. And I took that not to mean like a promise, but more like a decision. So your decision here is whether or not to follow the fox. And so you've got your little ticket up here. He's inviting you. This I just wanted kind of a general cityscape, real world kind of a feel without being too like literal. And if you follow the butterflies, this flips out to reveal a park, and the fox has wings. So you can resolve to answer the call and follow him into the park. Got some cute little paper beads up here, and these are painted with glitter nail polish. It's a great way to make them just a little more cohesive and a little more special. And I just wanted something real tactile to mess with up here. The next page has you kind of confronting the fox. And this one is quote. It's the butterflies like formally inviting you to join the adventure. It says if you lead the way, you will follow at once. Got some of my eco-dyed paper in there. And the mushrooms are just their own little tuck slots. And then I've got this little lace keyhole. I cut this out of a bigger piece of lace and punched a hole in it. And it is backed on some, sorry, I'm off the screen, backed on some plastic. So it's nice and sturdy, it keeps its shape, and it doesn't unravel, which is nice to not have to worry about that. And we're actually going to take this with us because we're going to need it later. Here we have the actual crossing of the border. This 2-page spread was the one that inspired the entire project for me. This fall, we got some new rugs for the bathroom, and they came rolled up really, really tight and wrapped in this plastic, and they'd been wrapped so tight that the canvas back of the rug had imprinted on this plastic. I don't know if we have any Stargate fans out there, but I thought the wormhole rippling effect kind of came through here. So that was my inspiration. I knew I wanted a portal between one world and another, and so that's what prompted the entire story. And this was one of the pages I was really, really excited to make. So we've got borders, translucent, and this is just a double layer of that plastic. Real monochromatic on one side, and then everything kind of fantastical on the other. And these weird creases, I was trying, this came from a larger picture, and I was trying to do a Turkish map fold, so it would fold out when you turn the page, but I couldn't get it to work with the portal, so I ended up just gluing it down, but it damaged my pages a little bit. But that's okay, because it looks a little glowy, like rays of light or something. So I'm alright with it. But is that not just the most gorgeous forest picture? I love it. Now we're in the woods, and the prompt was travel. So I have somebody welcoming you and giving you directions, and the directions are useless. I've got there, it says towering redwoods, nebulous streams. I've got over here, it says wayfinding. I've got this way, and I have that way. And behind them, your true guide, another butterfly. I actually found a giant redwoods magazine at a thrift store for 50 cents, and that's where a lot of these forest scenes came from. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I used up most of that magazine, actually. And I even used my offcuts, my extra strips, in making my making some of my scenes. Alright, next one was nature. I have this gorgeous art book. I have these unfurling ferns. Just a real simple spread here. Again, with the Eco Dyed, this stuff is what inspired the color palette for the whole project. Then I have an extra page, and I am baffled every time this comes up. I almost always have an extra page or 3 in my infinity journals, and it took me until literally yesterday to figure out why that is. And it is because of the way the spine works. In a normal journal, when you're making your spreads and you're counting up your pages and everything else, you've got one spread at the front cover, first page, and you got one spread at the back cover, first page. In an infinity journal, I've got that here, and here, and, here, and back here, and 4 more times on the back. I count the beginning and ending ones. I forget these middle spine pages. So it gets my count off, but that's okay, because then I get beautiful pages without a prompt, where I can just do something kind of atmospheric, like this. So there is the first of my extra pages. There will be more. Alright. This was my answer to the only prompt I didn't like this month. I don't like writing in my junk journals. I like to keep them as art pieces. Once in a while I'll grab one and use it for story inspiration, and then I do write in them, but as a general rule, like I'm the kind of person who doesn't like messing up normal notebooks. So like I'm kind of a notebook hoarder. So when I have these beautiful art ones, I'm definitely not going to be writing them. So the prompt was daily log. And I didn't want to write a daily log. I thought about doing a journal entry for the traveler that's going through here, but there's not a lot of writing in this story, and I didn't want to mess with that by suddenly having like a page of writing. And then I found this broken tree stump. This is a cross section of a giant redwood. And if you look closely, you can see the rings in there, which are a log of the tree's life. Every year, new ring. Also, this is a log. So, there you have my answer. I took some gilding paste and ran it through the cracks, like a kintsugi type, like the pottery, the Japanese pottery thing. So I did that. And then I found a beautiful poem, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I do in the other video. But I loved this line. The poem is about birds, but I figured it fit with my little fairies too. And I liked this last line. They say, whatever the weather, sweetest, sweet, sweet, oh sweet. So that has become a recurring thing through the rest of the book too. Then for lyrics, I continued that poem like it's a song that's playing. And we've got another sweetest, sweet, sweet, oh sweet down here. They're having a bit of a revel, and I have a more stylized tree stump. And I started making it, and this is one of those pages that just got worse and worse and worse, and I hated it more and more. And it was the colors I had chosen for this background. So I was really struggling with it. And then I showed my little brother, and he goes, could you put more tree rings in it? So I grabbed a pen, and I drew in my own tree rings, and I think that helped a lot, actually. It helped bring the dark and the light together. I think they were too jarring before. So we've got just a cute little fairy revel. I like it a lot, actually, now. And with a funky shaped page. This is another reason I have an extra page in there. There is no extra page here. I just glued down half of the tree stump and then went, whoops, I gotta put something else on here, so glued here. So I actually made an additional page in there. Alright, moving on. I have a really simple spread here for tuck spot. Mostly because this page was a lot and the next page is a lot. I wanted something a little cleaner, a little more simple, and I have lots of tuck spots in this journal, so I wanted a different kind of container, I guess, for what comes next. So you got a little snoozy fox under some more of those placemat leaves. I tell you what, guys, if I could find a dozen of these placemats, I would buy them all because I love the colors, I love the texture, just gorgeous. And they're actually remarkably easy to fussy cut. Alright, so I got a little wax paper bag. In it, there are so many rivets, you guys. In it is a bundle of leaves. I'm going to just lay them out down here so you can see all my pretty leaves. Maybe we'll set them alongside here. That way you're not off camera. I had some technical difficulties with my filming setup yesterday. I don't think I got it quite right yet. That's alright. So these little bundles of leaves, I've got some fabric stuff, I've got magazine pages that I cut out, there's some vellum, there's pieces of ribbon, this is another kind of a ribbon, scrapbook paper, tea-dyed stuff, book page, and these go on this page. We've got a bare tree here, and the idea is you can tie the leaves on in any order you want, in any arrangement you want. So these little strings, they just untie, and you would just tie these on. I'm not going to do it right now because it takes a little bit of time, but if you're in the mood to do it, it's time well spent. It's very satisfying, especially since you get to be in control of where the leaves go. So I'm just going to lay these on. Oh yeah, you get to put the leaves back on the tree. The tree branches themselves are just made from some braided, there's some twine in there, there's some cotton string in there, and then this fabric, which is, I found somebody had started making some rag rugs, and they had a big bag, like a 2-gallon bag full of balls of the rags already cut down to length and stitched together. So I just pull off the colors I like at different times and use them for all sorts of stuff. I'm going to set you guys out of the way. I'll pack you up later. Then we had a throwback page, and if you saw my last Meg Journals challenge, I think it was in the July journal, I had this page with this like thicket made from the wax paper, and in it I had some forest animals. I think they were deer. So I did the same kind of shapes and stuff here. It ended up being a bird's nest. It was going to be deer again, but it ended up being a bird's nest to go with this page. And I've got more of those leaves up here. And since you fix the bird's home in the story, you can call him down, and he's holding a little golden key for you. Just a simple little tuck here, more utilitarian than anything. I also like that he looks kind of like a wind-up toy. And he can just sit back in his little nest. We're going to take the key with us because we need that. It goes with this guy right here. They fit. So we're going to take those with us. Then another extra page, but I had this cool tree root thing, so just collaged it. Again, pretty simple. Just to kind of carry us through it. Help with pacing, I think, if nothing else. We got our back cover, and we come to a big spread. This whole next quarter of the book I ran as like one long spread all together. And this is where I stopped posting the day-by-day updates because I didn't want to give this away, and it was really hard to break this up nicely because I had some that was done and some that wasn't, and it was all showing through. I don't know if you can see, this is a whole, and there's about 1,000,000 pages behind it that are all layered up. So this is a bunch of prompts together to make one big labyrinth spread that kind of flows. So in general, we've got like flow and layered kind of working together with all of these. And to give us something to do during the labyrinth, I was thinking of the myth of the Minotaur and Theseus and Ariadne, and she gave Theseus some thread to get him through the labyrinth. So we've got a needle and thread. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. This one is geometric. It's got, I made a homemade stencil to stencil this geometric labyrinthy kind of pattern on the page. I really struggled with that side of the page for a long time. This came together really quick, but it's so busy and so bold that I didn't know what to do over here. But that homemade stencil and then just inking around the edges of it real roughly was kind of nice. So the idea is you're going to stitch your way through the labyrinth. So we're going to go through the hole and not hook the page. There we go. There are these little eyelets everywhere. you go right through one of the eyelets. I've got lots and lots of textures in here, which was another prompt. I've got the edge of a lace doily with these beautiful hand-stitched flowers. This is probably the hardest eyelet I had to put in, but it's so worth it because then you get to stitch right through the flower. And the idea is not to sew it closed. There's plenty of thread to get you through all the pages. I just wanted something to do during these. This one is my torn edges page, and it's on a brad, so you can open it like you're pushing through the weeds and the cracks or whatever. And I got this cute little nightjar picture on there. He fit the colors so well. So we're going to go through there. Not catch his tail. Then we have, ombre. I meant to be doing the ombre with the brickwork the entire time, but I got kind of carried away, and so this is the only page where it really, really comes through, but I go from the light to the dark. You've also got a hint of it in the shadowing and stuff on the mushrooms. This is another page from that art book. Here we've got 3 eyelets to stitch through. And you can do that any way you want to. I just like wrapping around the page. It's like you were lost for a minute. You retraced your steps. We have foliage, and this page is another extra one. I just wanted more layering. I've got a couple extra pages here. I just wanted more layers. I didn't want to go from one solid to one solid, and this page here has to be solid because it's a spine piece. So, needed more layers. I fussy cut some of my eco print paper, that kind of thing. There's more labyrinth stuff, and you can really see that stencil in there. I thought it was kind of cool, especially when you can see excuse me, especially when you can see multiple eyelets. To have to find the right one. It gives, again, that labyrinth kind of idea. And I wanted it to be getting just a little darker as you go, so you get darker animals, deeper colors. I love this vine from that art book. Fussy cutting that took forever, but it is so worth it. And then I have these cute, they're supposed to be a little ominous, but they're mostly really cute. Little baby bears climbing a redwood tree. But I suppose if you were alone, lost in a labyrinth, they would make you nervous, not make you think, oh, cute. So it works. And then to get around the corner, I added this fabric tab with the eyelet in it. That gets us around the corner because we have arrived. So that is, I'm just going to tuck you in there. That is the labyrinth done. And when you get around the corner here into this last quarter of the book, you are finally solving the mystery. The butterflies have all led you here. And this is more of that lace. This is where I cut this out of. And because I'm silly, the keyhole goes in upside down, which I guess makes it not too obvious. But yeah, the keyhole goes in, and then you could unlock it, and it's just super fun. Again, just a little thing to do. When you turn the page, she's free. So this was our pattern page, and then we got a more neutral one. Yeah, so she's in her prison. I've got some little pieces of costume jewelry glued down. These are actually really thick and bulky, but they're so pretty. Then we have whimsical, the celebration afterward. We've got a beautiful shot of the redwood forest, and this I believe is an Arthur Rackham fairy procession that I fussy cut, and then I inked it up a bit so they'd have the red wings like the butterflies did all through. We've got another Sweetest Sweet Sweet Oh Sweet with music, so the song's carrying on again. And since the butterflies are all going to hang out here, you did their job. We've got a little foxtail to lead us off. To here. A fox and a single fairy. And more of those placemat leaves. And this page was bookshelf. So in the little shimmery bit, you can see a bookshelf through there. And this is supposed to be your portal home. You kind of lean closer to see what's going on, and you find yourself back at the beginning. This is the grungy page. We're up in the attic, which was already a little grungy, so I had to level it up. And this was the happiest of happy accidents, you guys. It was ridiculous. I was so excited. I was going through my containers of die cuts and stuff, die cuts and stickers. I've got like a photo organizer, and I have them all sorted by theme. And I was looking for real world things to stick up in the attic. I got the clock, the handle with care sticker, there's a postage stamp, French Alliance postage stamp. I needed more junk for the attic. And I came across this. And I swear to you, hand of honor, I did not consciously know that this existed. But when I found it, how perfect is that? It says Walden, it's got the single flower, the butterflies all around. Now I am the one who sorted this stuff, so realistically speaking, I did know this existed somewhere in the back of my mind, but I found it in the basket, and I was so excited. So I turned it into it is a book cover, but it's like a ruined book now. So I've got some cool art journal pages all grunged up, or art book pages, sorry. And they're just clipped on because this is the answer to the poem at the beginning in the jar. That one said, alone in the shadows am I, here it's here by the campfire am I. So everything's kind of happily ever after. It's our resolution bit. So I was really excited to find that. Tuck you right back behind the cases. Then we have opposites. I just went for a simple indoor-outdoor view. And the mismatch between the real world and fairy world and all that, because you spot a little red butterfly again, and so it just kind of throws that transition back into focus for you. You go outside, and the last page is reflect, and this is where I want the reader or the user of the junk journal or the character in the junk journal to stop and think, okay, was it a dream? Was it real? We've got the red butterflies, and then in here, in my little flower pocket, I have a piece of the Queen's jewelry. Like, I don't know, like a thank you gift, like a memento. Is she calling you back? You know? So that's my reflection on here. Was it a dream? Did it really happen? What do we make of it? Did you just fall asleep reading Walled In? You know? And there you have it. We're back to the beginning. So that is my January junk journal. I'm thinking for my next video, I mean obviously I'm going to have to start a new project. I'm thinking for my next video I may do a tutorial on making the Franken pages, some strategies for picking your picking your palette and arranging pages to make these single sheets. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. That's probably where we're headed next. If there's anything I did in here that you'd like to see tutorials on, anything at all, just let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. That's the bottom line. I love talking to fellow crafters. So let me know what you think. If you stuck with it till the end, kudos. Love you guys. And have a great day. Happy crafting, everybody.